For nearly 2 decades, Call of Duty has been more than just a game. It's a cultural juggernaut, shaping the way millions of people think about first-person shooters and competitive gaming. Every autumn, millions of players rush to grab the latest installment, making it a $30 billion franchise and one of the most successful entertainment properties in history. For Activision, Call of Duty is the backbone of their business, fueling a belief that it's simply too big to fail, a safety net that few other franchises can claim. This confidence is rooted in years of data. Even when reviews are mixed or controversy swirls, sales continue to soar, year after year. The brand alone draws in casual and hardcore players alike, amplified by massive marketing campaigns that dominate billboards, social media, and even television. Developers at Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and Sledgehammer know the game will sell no matter what, creating a unique pressure, and sometimes a sense of inevitability, around each release. But this safety net can breed complacency, as teams may feel less incentive to take creative risks or push boundaries. The annual release cycle is relentless, pushing teams to deliver campaigns, multiplayer, and extra modes with little room for risk or experimentation, often leading to burnout and creative fatigue. Why change a formula that prints money? For the publisher, the answer seems obvious. Stick to what works, even if it means playing it safe. This mindset has led to a focus on broad appeal, sometimes at the expense of innovation, as the franchise tries to please everyone but risks exciting no one. The core community, those who analyze every patch and map, can feel ignored, their voices drowned out by the sheer scale of the mainstream audience. When feedback is overlooked, resentment grows, and longtime fans begin to question whether the franchise still values their passion and expertise. Developers are caught between corporate demands and passionate fans, often forced to prioritize mass-market features over the innovations that once defined the series. The brand's resilience has masked growing cracks, as the pressure to maintain success sometimes overshadows the need for evolution. But with Black Ops 7's release in 2025, those cracks are now impossible to ignore, and the community is watching more closely than ever. The too-big-to-fail mentality is being tested like never before, as both fans and critics demand more from the franchise. The question is, will the franchise adapt and evolve, or will it finally stumble under the weight of its own legacy? Black Ops 7's launch in October 2025 was supposed to be another triumph for the legendary franchise, a moment fans had been eagerly awaiting for months. Anticipation was sky-high, with pre-release hype building across social media and gaming forums. But it quickly became a disaster, unraveling almost overnight as the first reviews and player reactions poured in. Social media exploded with "Not My COD" as players slammed the rushed campaign, recycled maps, and lack of meaningful innovation. The hashtag trended for days, with thousands venting their frustration. Many said it felt more like an overpriced expansion than a true sequel, with some even calling it a blatant cash grab. The value just wasn't there for longtime fans. Community-driven data showed a steep drop in player engagement, over 40% gone in the first month, a statistic that sent shockwaves through the industry. Top YouTubers and streamers abandoned the game, taking their audiences with them. Live streams that once drew thousands now sat empty, echoing the community's disappointment. For most franchises, these numbers would be a win, but for Call of Duty, it was a clear failure, a sharp contrast to its usual dominance. Word of mouth turned toxic, friends warned each other to skip it, and forums urged players to wait for a sale or avoid it altogether. The disappointment cut deep, especially since Black Ops once set the standard for innovation and excitement in the shooter genre. Fans blamed corporate pressure for forcing Treyarch to release an unfinished product, pointing fingers at rushed deadlines and profit-driven decisions. Bugs, server issues, and poor design piled up. Death by 1,000 cuts. Every patch seemed to fix one thing and break another. The sense of betrayal was real. Loyal players felt taken for granted, as if their years of support no longer mattered. This wasn't just a stumble. It was a wake-up call for the entire industry, a warning that even giants can fall. The community's patience had finally run out, and the silence in lobbies spoke volumes. Black Ops 7 became the symbol of everything fans feared the franchise would become, a cautionary tale for developers everywhere. The message was clear: change, or lose your core audience. The future of the franchise now hung in the balance, with fans demanding real answers and real change. One of the loudest complaints about Black Ops 7 Its identity crisis. The game seems torn between two worlds, unable to decide what it truly wants to be. This confusion is at the heart of the community's frustration, and it's only getting louder as the series evolves. Once known for gritty realism, Call of Duty now features cartoonish, Fortnite-style skins. Think Beavis and Butthead or pop stars in combat. These outlandish cosmetics feel completely out of place in a franchise that built its reputation on authenticity and intense, grounded action. For many, this shattered the immersion that defined the series. The disconnect between the serious tone and the silly visuals makes it hard to take the game seriously, especially for longtime fans who crave that classic Call of Duty atmosphere. Microtransactions are now front and center, with the best cosmetics locked behind paywalls or grind-heavy battle passes. Players are constantly reminded to spend more, turning what used to be a straightforward shooter into a marketplace filled with flashy temptations. The game feels more like a digital storefront than a shooter. Every menu, every screen, seems designed to push players toward spending money, rather than simply enjoying the gameplay. Fans argue that resources go to flashy skins instead of fixing core gameplay issues. Bugs, glitches, and balancing problems often go unaddressed while new cosmetics roll out every week, fueling even more resentment. The result? A game that tries to please everyone but satisfies no one. The lack of a clear vision leaves both new and veteran players feeling disconnected and unsatisfied. The campaign tells a dark story, but multiplayer looks like a cartoon. This jarring contrast makes it hard to stay invested in either mode, as the two feel like they belong in completely different games. This tonal clash leaves longtime fans alienated. Many are walking away, feeling like the series they loved has lost its way and no longer speaks to them. In chasing Fortnite's profits, Call of Duty risks losing its soul. The pursuit of quick cash through microtransactions could cost the franchise its loyal fanbase and the unique identity that made it famous. Black Ops 7 is proof that you can't be everything to everyone. In trying to appeal to every possible audience, it ends up pleasing almost no one, and the future of the series hangs in the balance. Another flashpoint. The game's embrace of identity politics and DEI initiatives. Some players feel pride events, non-binary characters, and social justice storylines are forced, overshadowing authentic military storytelling. Critics argue these choices feel like box ticking, not organic character development. The result? A cultural divide, with some fans feeling alienated and others welcoming the changes, but the controversy only adds to the franchise's woes. Disillusioned fans say the developers aren't listening. Despite years of feedback on gameplay, aesthetics, and monetization, core complaints go unaddressed. Outlandish skins and persistent issues like skill-based matchmaking feel like proof that fan voices are ignored. Communication from Activision is often corporate and vague, fueling frustration. Developers themselves are often powerless, constrained by executive decisions and tight schedules. They bear the brunt of community anger for choices they didn't make. The annual release cycle leaves little time for real change. The result is a cycle of disappointment, with fans feeling unheard and developers stuck in a system that resists meaningful feedback. At its core, Call of Duty's crisis is a clash between business and passion. For Activision, maximizing profit means aggressive microtransactions and broad, inclusive messaging to appeal to a global market. Catering to whales and boosting ESG scores makes business sense, even if it alienates longtime fans. Developers are told these changes are necessary for growth, but for players, Call of Duty is a passion, a community, not just a product. They want quality, polish, and respect for the franchise's roots. When profit trumps gameplay, they feel betrayed. The conflict is fundamental. Fans want artistry, publishers want efficiency. Developers walk a tightrope between both worlds. Until business goals and player expectations align, the tension will persist. Every new release risks widening the divide. To win back trust, Call of Duty must change. The too-big-to-fail mindset needs a reset. Brand loyalty isn't infinite. Real dialogue with the community is essential. Acknowledge complaints, explain decisions, and share a clear plan for improvement. Breaking the annual release cycle could allow for more innovation and polish. Support existing games with meaningful updates, not just new skins. Rethink monetization. Offer quality, thematically consistent cosmetics, and reward skill, not just spending. Let players curate their experience. Toggle off wacky content if they want immersion. Above all, balance profit with respect for the core player base. Call of Duty's legacy was built on great gameplay and a loyal community. The fans are waiting for a reason to stay, now it's up to Activision to give them one.